our Shitty Opinion Sports Edition. Right now, we are going to sit there and bitch and moan like everybody else about the Hall of Fame snub of Mr. Bill Belichick, and it's all over the news. And
Hmm. A majority of them. Yep. Just say every sport. Yeah, it was basically just going back to his days when he coached Cleveland, then he went with the Giants. Everything's, it's the one word answers. Now, before you jump the gun, I get it. Yeah, he should be on the ballot easy. I get it. I get it. But again, like you just mentioned before, some of these guys that are doing voting, some of them shouldn't even be voting, to tell you the truth. Because if there's one word, it's called grudge. That's what it is. I don't care what anybody says. It's grudge. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. And again, it's like you're supposed to be doing this. It's again, it just goes back to the draft, like where we're saying, like, why not throw everything in and pick the top five out instead of everybody throwing the season just to get the one pick? So here's the same thing with the voting. Why you're supposed to be voting on their accomplishments? It's just like the MVP in the NFL.
it's specific to the sport. It's sport based, nothing
Yeah,
else. Nothing else. That's
and it's
it.
the word grudge, and that's what it comes back to.
Yeah.
And is it right? No, it's not right. Everybody knows it.
I mean, when this is probably the one time that you'd ever see something like social media all agree on something universally, like literally.
Especially it being a New Englander,
But it doesn't. It wasn't even that. It was just people outside of New England. I didn't even see any quotes from people in New England about that. Honestly, I didn't. I purposely avoided it so I could hear everybody else's gripes about it or see their takes online because because like I said, I try to view in a more unbiased way when these type of situations occur out of curiosity more than anything. But to see, you know, people who say they don't like him like repeatedly, and people we know that don't like him, other players or coaches say that he deserves to be in there regardless of what they might have said that he done or whatever gate he's been involved in or whatever else. When you have Jimmy Johnson coming out admitting that they all cheated the same way and whatever else, and he didn't do anything different than any other coaches when it came to whatever these situations were or whatever gripe Roger Goodell might have had, or these writers might have had, or whatever. It's ridiculous. The only one person that I saw today that supported this in essence or made up excuses for it was Colin Cowherd of all people.
Well, that's normal with that guy.
Not really, because he's from this area. He knows it well. He's not particularly a dissenter. He usually tries to make up like metaphoric ways, and I get it. And I like Colin. I've been listening to Colin for like decades. And this one blew me away because he was so hell bent on making up excuses of why. He's like, he started off his explaining, and he lost his argument right off the bat by saying Belichick will get in the Hall of Fame. He deserves it. And then to sit there and give out reasons why he didn't. That made no sense. And he tried so hard. He had Jimmy Johnson on later, and Jimmy Johnson told him straight out, "You are wrong for everything he had said," and he is. And it's like, I understand what Colin was trying to do. He failed at it absolutely miserably. This is coming from someone in Boston media who Boston media fucking hates everything that everybody does, and tries to be contrarian as much as possible just to fucking get people to listen. So his explanation didn't work, and it's a little ridiculous to sit there and say that, he is anybody's a clear cut Hall of Famer and doesn't get in.
But think about all the first time ballot Hall of Famers that should have been in there and weren't. I understand we're talking about a coach now. It's different than a player. I get it. I understand that. But again, it's the one word. It's the grudge.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, because it happened to T.O. And like
It happened to Atwater, Brian Mitchell, and we could go on and on. I mean,
but
Jesus.
this is the problem with the whole voting process. And the whole Hall of Fame thing to begin with. And this goes on with, like, again, baseball. It goes on with All-Stars. It goes on with Pro Bowls. And it goes with, I'm going to take just these two sports.
Yeah.
This is the problem. It is, when you are a Hall of Famer or an All-Star, it is pretty much clear-cut, I think. It is clear. You will have a few kind of dangling there, but barely, just because that's when you're going to break it down into numbers and watching them play. I get it. But if you are going to make it something as prestigious as a Hall of Fame, it should be yes or no. It shouldn't be, oh, we're on year 10. This is last year. Dude, if it wasn't obvious that they were a Hall of Famer, they ain't a Hall of Famer. That's it. Period. Done. It's same thing with fucking Pro Bowls. Like, I'm so pissed they gave Shedeur Sanders over Cam Ward that backup spot in the fucking Pro Bowl. It's
and now that they're saying to boycott going to the All Pro game because of that.
He played 8 fucking games. What is your excuse for not putting Cam Ward in there?
There is none. It's the same thing with Belichick.
It's so stupid. And then you put they put Travis Kelce as a Pro Bowler as well, which is ridiculous. All right, I'm sorry. How many other greater tight ends were there this year than him? Like, it's just that type of shit infuriates me. It's like the whole All-Star game in the baseball where fans pick. They pick whatever names on the back of the jersey in the store.
But here's my thing. Here's my thing to this, though, Al. It goes back to the MVP, like we talked a couple of weeks ago about this, and I brought it up. Put these guys' names on the ballot, the players. Let whoever the sports writers pick, and the coaches, whoever they pick, CEOs, whatever, owners. Yeah. Let the players pick out of that list.
Exactly. Just like
let's go with that.
Just like they do in the top 100. Because the top 100, you'll see players on there that don't make sense. And then you know what happens? The fucking players explain why they put them on there. Then it makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and on the bottom of the ballot, is there, like, any other player? You're allowed one other player you think should be on here.
Yes. And this should and you should be penalized, your vote, for doing dumb shit like this. Period.
It would end all this conversation because this way here, the teammates, these are the players that played against, coached against.
Yes.
They're the ones that are on the field between the lines.
You are literally picking people who write about a sport and didn't play in it, pick this shit, and I think it's dumb. I think it's
that they sit there behind a desk like you and I behind the keyboard.
Dude, it goes back to, remember the AP this year when they had like Florida in the top 10, and then there's some chick.
That was the lady.
Yeah, that chick. It's like, I haven't watched them all year. That's the type of shit this is. These aren't people who watch film. These aren't people who look at, understand the sport. Just because you wrote about it doesn't make you a scholar. You know what I mean? They're not all Peter King here. You know what I mean? Where you sat there and you followed a sport for so long that you know it that well. They're not John Maddens. They're not Bill Belichick's and those type of brains.
Yeah, someone's been on the sideline, coaching a big-time game.
It's like Tom Shaughnessy is with the Red Sox. He's a dickhead, but he's followed the fucking team forever.
Yeah.
So he knows his shit when it comes.
He knows the inside and outs.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Same with Jackie McMillan. Those type of writers. Those are the few and far between great writers who should have those type of privileges, and they do. I mean, and some of them do. But
Each team in any sport has that one person that's always on the plane with them one
yes, and they
or
know,
on the
and they
sideline.
don't just know that sport. They know the other teams because they have to see them play those teams, so they understand it as a whole and how difficult it was to bat against that pitcher, or to,
Hmm.
the how strong the outfielder's arm was to get an out at home plate. Those type of things they know that
Right.
across the leagues. But then you pick these buttheads and these old guys like Bill Polian, and I didn't believe I didn't know he had a vote. It's like, dude, he has a gripe. You don't like the fucking guy. You know what I mean? Then you have other guys who probably have gripes. But then you have people like great players like Pete Rose who can't get. I never understood that. Even since I was a kid, I never understood how Pete Rose was left out of the fucking Hall of Fame. And they had to do it posthumously,
And
which
that's a
is
bunch of bullshit too. Yeah,
ridiculous.
he betted on the game totally. He paid his price,
That's it.
but yeah,
You gonna
but
punish him
then
for
you have the
this?
people doing steroids that are in the Hall of Fame because they hit 17,000 home
Yeah,
runs.
and I'm fine with that too. Not gonna lie,
It's like,
I don't
come
care.
on, man.
But to sit there and say that a guy who bet on himself to do well is egregious in the first place, and then to sit there and punish him for decades, the fuck out of here, dude. Stuff with that stuff, and the same thing with this whole like, oh, the steroid era and the post-steroid. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Everybody's doing it. Everybody was doing it to some extent. Who cares? You know what it did? It made baseball popular again, dude. I used to watch those home run races in high school. Who was it? It was McGuire and what was it, Sammy
Barry
Sofa or
Bonds,
Barry,
Sosa.
whoever it was at that time in the mid '90s. We would watch. The teachers would put it on TV. We'd watch.
I could see giving them some type of punishment just because it is a cheating time, and I get it. Some of them are hurt and they think they get injections, and they say we didn't know. I get your point, but again, it's just like a pitcher that has sticky on his fingers,
Hmm.
better grip on the ball. It's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
They get ejected. So again,
But
I'm going
the
back.
punishment happened already. Is my point.
Yeah,
You know what I
so
mean?
let the guy go. God forbid he's gone, but let the guy in there. I mean,
It,
Jesus
it's just
Christ.
it's silly. It's nitpicky. It's
He
it's
served his
yeah.
punishment,
It's
you know.
bitchy. It's like I'm gonna read through some of these. I don't know if you saw the tweets. I'm gonna read through some of the
I
tweets.
have I seen a couple from like TO and yeah, you have them, you have TO. Yeah, he's in everything. You have Des Bryant. You have Ryan Clark and all them coming out and saying it. It's like Pat McAfee of all people. He should stick to just being in college with his belt buckles. Although it did jump off the diving board in Miami in his skibbies. Yeah. McCourty, Robert Griffin, Damian Woody, they all.
Type of games, and there's nothing more to it, dude. We know what a Hall of Famer is as a fan. You know what one is as a player, and you probably know better as a coach. To be honest with you, what a Hall of Famer actually is, and it's like it goes through the same thing with ownership as well. I think, but I mean these voting things are just stupid. They're dumb. Again, everything should be clear cut. Your point is probably the best point that I've heard. Is just have the fucking players should choose
Again,
these types.
they're
Anything
around
has
them.
to do with the sport, the players should choose. At least let them choose the Pro Bowls. The Pro Bowl selections should all be ex players.
Yeah, well, yeah,
If you're
that's
not going to
even
do present
there
players,
you go.
it should be
Do the
ex
X
players.
players.
You know what I mean? There's plenty of ex players out there who have podcasts, who have things, and who say it. You know what I mean? And these are,
Yeah.
you don't have to be top name ones either. They can be, you know, just regular Joe Schmo. I've been to a couple Pro Bowls, if any at all. You know, who have a vote. Let them vote. Those guys know
Hall of
better.
Fame, the guys in the Hall of Fame.
Same
Let some
thing.
of them. Now, obviously, you can't have some of them, the older ones, but the ones that were just in their last five,
And
6 years.
and you should just recycle the votes. And your votes are only good. You can only vote for, we'll say, 8 years. After 8 years, we move on to the next.
We move on to somebody
Yes,
else.
that's all. Not hard. These guys who get these lifetime long votes until they decide to bow out is ridiculous. It's a stupid fucking system. It's like they try to sit there and act all high and mighty and all whatever it is they do, but they're not. You're not that prestigious. You're not that fucking special. You're nothing. You think you are because you're one of 50 people who decide the fate of somebody's legacy, which is ridiculous. It's like
And
stop.
again, it just comes back to that one word that we mentioned. It's grudge. And again,
Oh, I thought it was take the points, but okay.
oh, don't even get going on there again. Now, I tried to skip over that, and you're going to go back to
I
that.
really thought you were gonna say that.
I was gonna, but you got a little, I was gonna let it slip.
Whatever. But
At some point we will, just
it'll be the running gag for our whole
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
But I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, no. Again, I don't know. You got some of these guys that don't even follow somebody else from another team.
Exactly.
Just
Again, you have
what do they
you
do?
have
Read the paper,
yeah,
what it
you
says.
have the
It's
sports media guy who doesn't go to the games versus the what's it called, the former GM who's retired in Florida. Like, you fucking kidding me, bro?
he made his pick on his yacht.
Yeah. Like, are you kidding me? Like, stop. There's so many fucking ex players and coaches that you could just choose from. Do 25 and 25. Or do 10 and fucking 40. Whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's not hard. You can take present coaches to make the decision. It's not hard for them to do it either. They have time to sit there and go, oh, let me, whatever. They know what a fucking Hall of Famer is. That's why. It's nothing to ponder here. And they
That,
have,
that's
and
that's
hold
where
on.
it goes to, like we just said. Leave the players.
And
Pick the names.
my,
Leave the
yeah,
guys pick and
and my other gripe is the limitations. You can only have this amount every year. Why? Why? If you have this eligibility thing where you have to be out for fucking X amount of years, so sometimes
yeah, I think it's 5 years or
yeah, it's
something
5 years.
like
So
that.
sometimes it's fucking, it's 10 guys. Sometimes it's fucking 5 guys. You know what? Fucking let the 10 guys in. You know what you do? You say you made the Hall of Fame. Now it's a 2-day event. Or you made the Hall of Fame, but we're gonna do it next year, or whatever the fuck it is. You
Yeah,
telling me
let
you can't
five
adjust the
here,
fucking
5
ceremony
there.
so it works? Like, seriously, you can't figure out how to take the end point, the fucking ceremony, and make it work, or you don't have enough money to make heads. Like, what is it? Like, come on, stop it.
Again, you're never gonna know unless it's League Two voted against for who.
Yeah,
And again, it all will be solved. I think. Leave the Hall of Famers that are in there now. Leave them pick the 10 guys or 15, whatever it is. Narrow it down,
yep,
and then leave the players pick.
yep. All right, let's move on here to the coaches. We have coaching vacancies still left. We got the Cardinals and the Razors. Little Razors. Excuse me. Let me switch.
Mm. I was kind of shocked at that too. Even though he has a relationship with Josh, I don't know. But you knew it was going to happen sooner or later. Exactly. Do you know what I think really got him? What have got him fired is Mahomes wasn't in there. The Chiefs weren't in this year, and they still couldn't do it. That's what I meant. Yeah, I mean, again, they offered. I thought he was okay, but I thought he lost the locker room. That was my point. I think he lost the locker room. Mhm. Well, they asked him, "Does he want Aaron Rodgers back?" And he goes, "Absolutely." But at the same time, does he really? Yeah, he's up there. Yeah, that's not a bad pick. I think it was a charge. Yeah. So here's the thing on that too. I think Brady wanted to go after Lamar and give up the first pick and get other picks later on instead of taking Fernandez from Indiana. I just think he was high on him. He would like to have him out there, but that's going to get shut down. Hold on. Here's a question for you. I think Harbaugh shot himself in the foot because I think once he knew the Bills job open, he was probably thinking, "Damn, I'd rather take the Bill." Yeah, because they have a quarterback there. Their defense ain't bad. Yeah, so now he's got to come in. Now Jackson Dart, we always said he's a good ball. He's for rookie year he did pretty good without their star receiver with Neighbor. So that's what I was. Well, now that you mentioned it, really. Well, the big thing is Meta. They got to get him Meta Gross there because from Penn State, the first round pick last year, he was all over the place. But boy, when he was on the field, he was dominant. It's just the point he was late to practice, missing me. You know what I mean? It's he won't deal. Harbaugh won't deal with that. That's our agent. That's your agent. Mm-mm. Yeah, I think they'll get rid of Tua somewhere. Some. Yeah, but at least he's coming into a team with a good quarterback. You know, young quarterback. I don't know, from the Ravens. I think it was from the Ravens. They just picked the names out of a hat at this point. Monken. Again, it's like that list. I think it's a store in Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken. They have the list of all the quarterbacks, and it's like 27 quarterbacks or something like that. Now it's going to be the coaches. Chargers, wasn't it? Yeah, because now, well, actually, he was going to withdraw and go with the Bills, and then he withdrew and went back out to the Chargers, and now he's flipping out because I think the Chargers won another coach that was with the Dolphins with him, and I don't think he's too happy about it. I think it was the Packers. Let's see. We did the Jets, the Giants. The Jets are in there every year. So, oh yeah, I seen that. That's right. There was a little bit of head scratching there going on, huh? Yeah. Where the heck did he go? Why am I thinking Buffalo? Was it? I don't know.
with them.
Well, with Robert Sala there, he's not gonna. He
I
won't
know
be doing what
exactly.
he
As
did
long as he
this
just
year.
doesn't allow him to open his fucking mouth, he should be fine. So I think
Yeah, he's gonna tell him sit down, and you're gonna do it our way.
just do the offense and shut the fuck up. You know
Right.
what I mean? So, but I think Cam Ward could do well with that. So it looks like the Titans got the coaching staff down pretty well. So hopefully, they can become competitive again because man, that team has had the worst fucking luck losing some great players, drafting great players. I mean, they haven't been really worthwhile since what Eddie George played. They have an ability to get. I mean, obviously they made it to the AFC title game with Tina Hill and everything, but I'm talking about
Mhm.
like as far as like a whole, like a team worth watching. And then they had Chris Johnson, then they had, um, Derrick
Man, he
Henry.
was. I liked watching Chris Johnson.
He was good. You know what his downfall was? Ever since he said he was going to rush for 2,000 yards, he obviously didn't. You never heard from him again. What a fucking no open your mouth, son.
But he was good
He
though,
was. He
man.
was great.
He was good.
Dude, they got running backs, man, and successively too. And I'm just like, God damn, dude, how do they do it? You know. But
No, no, I like. He was good. I like.
so I mean, I think the hires. I mean, the only real question one is the Browns won, I think, and the Bills won.
All right, so let's throw this out there. Who do you think got the better? That's going to do good for this year with their
What
new
the coming
hires.
year?
Hmm?
Oh God, I mean, I think John Harbaugh.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I'm going. I might go with Tennessee with Robert Sala, not just because Cam's my guy, but
I don't know. I just think they're missing pieces as far as players are concerned. That's all.
mm,
I think offensively, defensively, I think Salah will be able to do something. Offensively, I think they're going to struggle a little bit. I think they might be, a 5-win, 6-win team just off the bat, off my head, with not drafting anybody, obviously. But I just think offensively they're kind of hurting a little bit, and that puts Cam Ward in his third system in 1 year, which is ridiculous.
and who's been doing that since we've been talking about this since we started this?
What?
Lawrence down in
Oh yeah,
Jacksonville.
yeah. So
It's the
hopefully,
same thing.
that's why hopefully Dayball does him good. And he's got a kid down there who's a sponge, who's receptive and works his ass off. So if he fucks this up, that's on Dayball, I think.
Yeah, I mean, let's put it this way: if he goes in the first couple of games and he looks like shit, which he won't because he uses his legs a
But
lot.
even if he did, it's the first couple of games. It takes a while to get. I
Yeah,
don't judge until probably second game in October. That's when you can start really properly judging by the fifth game. Fifth to sixth, on that sixth game is when the judgment starts. If they're not good by then, you're fucked. I think.
But you know how it is though. How it's like they don't give anybody a time to gel.
Mm,
They like this year. Let's take your Patriots for example. Everybody's had them like at what 6 wins, 8 wins.
yeah,
You know, oh, what's a new system
yeah.
coming in?
That's
Again,
the
people
problem.
are
Do
going to
you
judge it.
think that McMichael and Vrabel ruined it for the system and every other coach going forward? In the
Mm.
impatience that's already there, and then making it being like, well, see, it's possible. Did it in 2 years in Seattle. Snyder picked the right guy, and blah blah blah, and they made it work. And then you go, then Vrabel goes into the Patriots, and they made it work in a year. You know what I mean? Like, do you think?
No, you know why? Because the players bought into the system.
Yeah. Oh, we know why, but I'm saying, do you think the owners are going to sit there and be like, well, they did it and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Be all huffy about it and be like, because you know how they already have these guys already have fucking short lifespans as far as head coaches are concerned anyway, which is ridiculous, I think. And same thing with quarterbacks. They give them these short lifespans, and they don't give them a fucking chance to flourish and grow properly because they think they're going to start right off the grip with
But
something
see,
they do not know.
getting back to your question there too. A lot of these coaches that are doing good or make the playoffs, the teams that they're former players.
Yeah.
So think about that. It's not like they're coming from a college program
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
like sister. These guys played the game.
Yeah.
So that could be something, if I'm an owner, I'm looking at someone that played the game
Well, I mean, you
that,
got people like Ben Johnson who's just a genius and apparently made it work, and you have a couple of guys who sat there, um, who didn't, but have been around the game, whether it's their family too, as well. Then you have your
Mhm.
outliers like your Johnsons as well, but your Kubiak's obviously he's got his dad. You have your Shanahan's his dad.
yeah, you're
You
talking
know,
bloodlines
yeah,
too.
and I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's a big part of it as well. But it goes along with their former players. Those are people who've been in the system of football, and understanding
Well,
it
you figure
that you want.
you mentioned 1, 2 right off the bat with Rabel and Daniels, and now let's call it down in Houston. You know,
Yeah, DeMarco, and then you have,
uh, well, you have Harbaugh.
yeah.
So I mean, yeah, they're like you
There's a lot
said.
of it. There's definitely, I wouldn't say it's 50-50 when it comes to people from the NFL tree. I'm not going to call it like a family tree or whatever. The NFL tree who've been in it because they grew up in it or they played in it. And then you have the other ones who are, I mean, we'd have to look at the whole coaching
Yeah.
lineup, but and then you have everybody else,
But
who,
getting back to your question, if I was the owner and if I had somebody sitting next to me, I'd be like, all right, so who's a current player that's on the roster here as a coach
yeah,
that understands the game? Most important, relates to the players,
yes,
and the players will respect you.
yes.
And
Well,
that's why I think who I think might come up here for you guys. It's going back to Tennessee. It's going to be AJ Brown. I think he could
yeah,
come
I've heard
back up
other
here.
people have said the same thing too, and he'd have to buy into the fact that he might not be the ball guy though. That's the other thing. But we thought the same thing with Stephon Diggs too. So, I think it'd take a sit down between Diggs and Brown to get Brown to understand if he wants to come here, this is what you're gonna have to do.
Hmm.
You know,
And if you don't like it, then
then that's
there's the
fine. Then,
door.
then yeah, then you can stay where you are and bitch and moan and break up that locker room instead. Worked out fine for you guys this year. you know.
Just give me a couple games.
So I just feel like there's a couple of coaches out there this year, especially with, like I said, Johnson and McMichaels and Vrabel, who kind of like screwed up the system for a lot of other people. And the same way, like you said, we were saying with the quarterback situation, where they got to start right away and fucking hit it at all cylinders. Just because Jaden Daniels now did it. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
but Jaden Daniels isn't playing this year because he's not, because he's hurt. You know what I mean? So it's like people just gotta be patient. We gotta go back to being patient. Let these guys work out. You know what I mean? This
All
is
right, so since we're on this subject, then here's a question for you: the quarterbacks right now with these new coaches that basically could probably trade for a quarterback, who would you go after?
say that again.
So just say you're a head coach. I'm just going to pick Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm a new coach coming in there, and there's some quarterbacks that I could probably go after if the money's right for a lot of these players.
Hmm.
And I still go back. I know you're going to disagree. I still go back to Joe Burrow
Hmm.
because again, he has to stay healthy. I mean, I'd even throw maybe Dak in there.
Like the whole best ability is the availability thing.
Right. I mean, if I'm starting out, wouldn't you want to,
Oh yeah.
maybe even a
So you're
Jalen
asking
Hurts?
what quarterback, if you could just pick any to start of
Right.
somewhere, what with the new coaching vacancies?
Yeah, yeah, to bring me in, to start me out.
Not backup, starting who's already starting now.
Starting. Yep.
To build something. Let's see.
To build around. How about Mac Jones?
Mac Jones would be a good one for some place like the Falcons, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
I would put Kyler Murray on that list.
I would not. Couldn't. He just does not. He can't. He can't. He doesn't do for himself. He's not going to do for his team. You need somebody who can rally a team. Um, Mac Jones could do that type of thing. You, hold on, did you say available quarterbacks?
No, I just
Just
mean
throwing
in
names out
general,
here.
anybody. That's why I go with Burrow. Again, I think a change of scenery for him. I
I
mean,
think Burrow could.
obviously,
I think Burrow could work out of a different system. I don't know if he'd want to, obviously, type of deal, but because he's an Ohio kid. Um, see who else could who could. You know who needs a fresh start? Honestly, I know it's his childhood place to play, but I think the Chargers there. Herbert could
Herbert.
definitely. He needs a recharge in a whole new system. I know he's got that with his new whatever come with Harbaugh there and everything. Something ain't working right for him there in his brain.
Well, let's
I
put it
don't know
this way:
what.
they got McDaniel's there this year to run the offense. So if he can't get something right with that
I don't
Einstein,
know if it's the team or it's the fact that he's in L.A. L.A. is one of those cities that just fucks with you. From
it's
somebody,
almost like New York.
yeah, you know what I mean. It's like it just doesn't. It doesn't. It's not because they are a big sports town, but they're not. They're a trendy sports town. And I don't know if that fucks with him or not, or whatever else, or being around. It's just one of those weird cities where I feel like if you went to a smaller market, I think he could possibly do better from the outside shit that goes on. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Mm.
But then again, I'm a little biased because I like him, um, and people can't figure out why, and I almost can't give them a reason why. Um, let's see, who else would be
I think the big name right now on the block would probably be is Mac Jones. I
yeah.
mean, he came in there and he was rolling with the Niners.
Yeah, I mean, the only question is he? I hate this phrase, this term too, a system guy, because everybody's a system guy. Is he going to find somebody who's as well versed with his playing style as Shanahan was able to do? That's kind of like the one thing, or Josh McDaniels was able to do. So you need that kind of more advanced. I want to say advanced offensive minded person, quarterback person. So
Mm.
if he did that, he'd have to go to some place I would say like the Falcons, to a Stefanski or Steelers. Um,
Yeah, well, there you go. Bring him in.
yeah. So you're saying that, like, if they had to go and they couldn't draft him because there's nobody in the draft right now, like who could you? I mean, you also have Malik Willis, who if
I
you
was thinking that from Green Bay. Yeah,
yeah, if you
yeah.
if you were into one of those, like, running type of, dual threat type of back guys, which would be more of a, I mean, guess it would be who am I here looking at the list?
I mean, I would say too, maybe Hurts or Golf, just a change of scenery. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Hurts, I think I think he's fine where he is. I think that's more of a coaching issue with the offensive coordinator there. I think Goff would not succeed anywhere else except where he's at right now. To be honest with you,
Mm.
and if he did, he'd have to go to a dome place. I don't think he can play in the dirt. I don't.
He's got to stay indoors.
Yeah, I just think it's one of those deals. I think Baker's the type of guy who could go and spark a team for sure. Um, I think
Who are you taking, Tua or Murray? Tua or
Philip
Kyler?
Rivers.
Philip Rivers.
I don't want either one of them.
Oh God, I wish he would have went with the Bills. That would have been great. I would have wished he would have been there.
Oh God, he withdrew himself, but it's just funny how the Bills were sitting there, like even like exercising that thought is just pathetic. It's so
But
stupid.
again, there's what we were just talking about, an ex-player.
Hmm.
Could the players buy into him?
I said a lot of these ex players, man, they should get more into like, especially the quarterbacks. If they like being around the sport, they should get into more consulting positions. I think, and kind of see, where they stand and with the knowledge of what they help out with. I think there's got to be more consulting in sports from the outside perspective that needs to kind of sit up in the booth, see the field as a whole, and look at tendencies of the other team or what could go on, and like it's almost like a live analytics, department. I think a lot of quarterbacks would actually be good at that. To be honest with you, so yeah, I really can't think of any other quarterbacks off the top of my head this quickly. Um, I mean, when I look around I'm trying to go by. Let me look at the different teams here out of curiosity because I feel like there is an answer out there. I just don't
Mm.
have it, and my mouse isn't working. Let's see. NFL teams. NFL teams. Let me see images. So we have. Not for the Ravens and Bengals. The Browns have nobody. Steelers have nobody. The Texans, no. Colts, no. Jags, I wouldn't with him, no. Honestly,
Mm.
I think the Titans are in a good spot with Cam Ward to fuck
Yeah, I
around.
think they're fine there. I
You
think
know what I mean? Patriots, Jets, Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders have nothing. Oh my God, there's a lot of places that really have nothing, huh?
mm,
Bears are all set. They wouldn't do Packers and get the Vikings are fucked. Falcons are fucked. Panthers, God, Goodell knows. Saints, I think, are fine with Shaw.
yeah, I think he actually came around. He actually,
Yeah, Bucks are
at least
fine.
for another year or so.
Then you got Prescott. Then you got Dart. Then you got Hurts. Then you got Daniels. Then you got Murray, maybe Stafford. Wow, there really isn't that many options. To
Mm-mm.
be honest with you, so I think going
You
with
you came up with a good one before, though, Malik Willis. I didn't
yeah, I
even
think
think of
Malik
that.
Willis. If you're gonna sit there and you need to at least get something until there's a good draft, he's definitely a good pick because you don't know how he's going to be in the long run because it did take him a little
Hmm.
bit in the Tennessee. Tennessee's an idiot; they did give up on him, but he showed his capabilities in the Packers obviously this year and what he could possibly do. So, I mean, to even start with him, fine. If he's a Jacoby Brissett type, and hopefully not, but he's more of a Huntley type.
Right,
you're not
right.
doing bad. That's for sure. You know what I mean? I mean, unless you want to start your team with Jarrett Stidham because he should be starting somewhere. That was a
Back
joke.
up.
That was a joke.
I know. I just let it slide.
It's a,
I'm just pretending I didn't hear that.
but anyway, so I don't know, that's where I think. But those are conversations for later. I think we can get to for sure. But anyway, we'll have to figure out something else to talk about
Sounds
next
good.
week besides that. But anyway, folks, if you lasted this long, congratulations. We appreciate it, and we'll be coming around. I will be posting stuff about wrestling and Royal Rumble. We're going to change it up a little bit now that football is pretty much gone and winding down. We'll find something to complain about next week, though, I'm sure, and then we'll also have our picks, and it'll probably a little bit more better analyzing going on too as well, hopefully. And yeah, so thank you for watching and listening, and until next time, folks. See you later.
Peace.